Hey, how's it going, everybody? Pretty good, I guess? I don't know. Okay. I don't know what you guys all did on July 9th this year. We can maybe talk about it later if you want. But I'll tell you what I did. I went to the New Kids on the Block concert at the Tacoma Dome in Washington State. I guess I'm not in Washington. You guys might not know where Tacoma is. Okay. So a dome in Washington State. Who here knows who New Kids on the Block is? Okay, then I'll keep going. I was gonna abandon it. Okay, here's the thing. I'll tell you all about it. I know you're all wondering. Okay, so here's what it was. It was called the Package Tour. Yeah, which is either it's a good deal or a dick joke, or maybe a little bit of both. But here's the other people on it. So it's New Kids on the Block headliners, Boys to Men. No, but okay. And 98 Degrees. Who gives a fuck about 98 Degrees? Boys to Men, they won Grammys and shit. I think. Okay. They have a beautiful song about their mom or whatever. Okay. So I went. It was like practically sold out. It's all ladies. I've never been around that many ladies in my life, and I loved it. Every second. But it did sort of smell like the cosmetics aisle in Target a little bit. Which you don't know what that smells like. It's kind of like, it's like, is it pear? Is it raspberry? Is it everything? Which is great. So yeah, here's what happened. I get there. There's a monitor with text on it that everyone's supposed to repeat after. And so here's the text on the monitor. Ladies. I guess they just decided there were no guys there. Ladies. Tonight is your night. You own this night. You earned this night. For tonight, it's your package. And everyone next to me is just like, what? They're just losing their shit. Which is great. I was excited. So, show starts, opening act comes out, Boys to Men. Ouch for them. Okay, they come out first. And only 3 of them dressed in all white. The 4th one with the deep voice and the breakdowns and the cane, he is a family. He's like, fuck off. So the other 3, they come out and they're singing their songs, and they get to the beginning of Motown Philly, if you guys know it. And everyone hears the beginning of the song and they get so fucking excited. And let me give you an example. By the way, Boys to Men, they're not lip syncing, they're singing live. And they start doing all the 90s dance moves from the video. So let me give you an example of what that looks/sounds like. It's like this. Motown Philly. Boys to Men. Yeah. Just a little bit like that. Thank you. That was hard for me. But I can't talk shit about them. I'll give you an example of what the crowd looked like. Because by the way, there is a guy on an intercom somewhere that's yelling out, "Ladies, put your hands there," interrupting them while they're singing. So this is what the crowd looked like. Boys to Men, going on. Oh, what? The beer's $12? What the fuck? And that's when I sort of realized that everyone in this scenario is like too old and too fat to be in a hot dome on a Tuesday. What are we trying to prove to each other? The 90s are over! Just let it go. Okay, 98 degrees. Oh wait, before I get to 98 degrees, I know you're all excited about that. Okay. Maybe more your age range, I guess. Okay, so Boys to Men, at some point, lights go off. I think they're gone. They didn't even say goodbye to Coma. That's kind of fucked up. Lights go off, lead singer goes in the front, and whatever the fuck his name is, who cares? And then the light hits him, and he does this. He's like, "Close your eyes," and then everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Because if you don't know, first couple words to "I'll make love to you." Beautiful song. I danced to, but you probably didn't because you're all young. Okay. So yeah, that came on, and everyone starts flipping out. There are couples there, which is gross. And there was particularly one in front of me, and I know there were a couple because she's taking pictures with her phone, and I saw that the background of her phone is a picture of them together, which is gross. But so she's sitting there, and the guy next to her, guy, by the way, is in a Seahawks jersey and a camo hat. He put those things on together, and then he left his house. So that's gross. So he's there, and they're like holding each other, and I just realized there are all these couples in there. They're like, oh, this was our song in 8th grade, and now we have 6 kids. And it was fucking gross. So anyway, at some point, I start feeling shit hitting me on the head. I'm like, what? What is going? And I look up. They are dropping rose petals from the ceiling during this song. I swear. And these ladies are just like, oh, give it to me. Just everyone flipping out. And then Boyz II Men goes up, and there are long stem roses on the rotunda stage. They start throwing those out while they're like, I'll make love to you and you. And there's just these 4-year-old ladies just like elbowing each other in the face so hard for that shit. And that's great. Then 98 Degrees comes out. We all take a beer break because who fucking cares? No, they come out in their little vests. They sing their little songs. But here's the thing I want to say about 98 Degrees. If you ever liked boy bands when you were growing up, and you don't have to woo if that's embarrassing for you, but if you, okay, but if you did, you know that every boy band had like the cute one, and then the one that you thought was cute because you were 12 and you didn't know. And like, you guys don't, you're all thinking of a specific person right now. Okay. And then they all had that like, sweaty, puffy dad that was in there. Like, what's that guy doing? What's that guy in the band for? Like, does he have a car and he drives into the gigs? Like, why is he there? That's weird. Okay, 98 Degrees, biggest offender of the sweaty, puffy dad. Why is some guy named Jeff or something? He's just there. And the 98 Degrees, they're 3 beefcakes with major butter faces. This is like, oh god, I looked at it. I got so excited. This is busted, seriously. But totally buff dudes. But then there's this like puffy, but like 58-year-old guy in the band who's just there to be in the background and blow kisses. Okay, so turns out since time has gone on, he's become sweaty and puffier as an older man. Now he's 76 years old. And so they're doing all their dances and stuff, and at some point, and he's having a hard time. Poor Jeff. And then at some point, Nick Lachey, the lead singer, he's like, I like some of you are like, it's Lachey. It's actually Lachey. I had someone do that to me once when I was telling this joke. It's actually Lachey. Because it's, oh, I forgot, it's fucking French. Like, shut up, who cares? Okay, anyway. So, anyway, he goes, hey ladies, it's kind of hot in here, isn't it? And he starts unbuttoning his shirt. All the other guys in the band, they're like, yeah, they start, this is what dad looks like. You just know it's in his contract, he has to do it every night. He's so over it. His wife's in the front like, Jeff, do this for the kids. Like, stop crying. It's just so sad. So sad. Okay, they're done. New Kids comes out. They save all the bullshit special effects for those guys. Like that puff of air that's unnecessary all the time, and like confetti and stuff. They're also on a rotunda stage that like picks up and it rotates. Which I wondered what that was for until I realized they all got in a corner of it and they air humped. Like that, right? And then it rotated. So basically you could be like, no, I like Joey. No, Jonathan. Donnie. And then, oh, Joey. But then I'm looking at that, I'm like, what is that? The guys in boy bands do that shit all the time. I don't get it. What's that about? Like, is that like, they're like blowing you a dick kiss, you're supposed to catch it, like, oh god. Like, I don't understand what that is. But then, okay, if you know who Donnie is from New Kids, he was the bad boy. He's the bad boy. Marky Mark's older brother. I know. Could you get badder? So, he's pretty intense. Turns out, guys, still bad. Still totally bad. So he was running around, ripped his shirt off, threw it in the crowd, started a riot. And then at some point he went over to someone's mom in VIP and starts making out with her, and they filmed it on the Jumbotron. They're showing that. That was gross. And yeah, we were all uncomfortable. And then I just realized that I bet he did all the same shit when he was like 19. And everyone's like, oh, he's so bad at that time. Or like, he's so naughty. But now we're all looking at him and we're like, oh yeah, you guys, he's going through a divorce. So. I have to know these things. Okay, so a lot has changed my life recently, specifically that story I just shared with you, but More specifically, a while ago, well, a month ago, I partied on a fucking boat. I don't know. Some of you didn't sink in. A month ago, I was partying on a fucking boat, you guys, on a boat. Thank you. I'll tell you how it happened. I was doing a comedy show. Headliner, famous guy on TV and stuff, on Conan and whatever. After the show, he comes over, not to talk to me, to talk to Wilfred, who didn't even perform on the show, so whatever. But he doesn't like talk to me, he thinks I'm annoying. But anyway, so the guy comes over, and he says, you guys remember Wilfred? He was here earlier. I probably didn't need to use his name. Anyway, Wilfred. Okay, so he comes over, and it's his birthday, I guess, today. Who cares? I'm not going to waste my stage time to talk about that. Anyway, so Wilfred, he comes over and he asks Wilfred, he's like, hey, I'm having some of my friends, we're going to go on a boat later and party on my friend's boat if you want to come. And he's whispering it, probably so I can't hear, because he thinks I'm annoying, like I said. And so Wilfred's trying to be all cool about it. He's like, oh yeah, maybe we'll go. And I just like intervened. I was like, I'm sorry, did you guys say we were partying on a fucking boat tonight? Because that's what I just heard. We're going on a boat. And so then I did that cool thing you do when you just kind of, invite yourself to something face to face, so the person is too uncomfortable to tell you no. Right? It's a cool way to make friends. Who fucking cares? Whatever. They'll regret it later. Who cares? So we went. It was a weekday. No one wanted to do it. I was like, stop crying. We're going to this boat party. So we get there, and it's in a country club. Like a super rich country club, which I find out because we get out of our shitty car with a six-pack of Henry Weinhardt's, and this old white guy in a golf cart immediately starts to follow us to the gates. And it's like, he wants to make sure we're putting in the right code. It's like, I get it, Vernon, like, we're obviously those people. But at the same time, we're obviously not the kind of people that would waste beer and gas money on a possibility. Like, we know where we're going tonight, we know exactly what's happening, it's 1 a.m., we only have a couple options. Like, we know what's going on. So we got inside and we're walking down the gate, and I realized that they're all beautiful boats, just totally gorgeous. We get to ours, it's a fucking yacht. Like a giant, gorgeous yacht. And I get up to it and I'm like, oh my god, it's so like just rich and white and clean and expensive. And so I just get on and I'm like, oh my god, stepping on it. And then I immediately have to be like, okay, don't act poor though on the boats. Right? You don't give yourself away. Like, keep that shit to yourself. You don't want to be like too impressed with anything. But is this Grey Goose vodka? Just don't get too excited about anything. But is that a waterbed on the water? Like, what is this pure decadence in here? Like, it's just crazy. So I was excited. Everyone else on the boat kind of avoided me, and they kind of just hung out in the captain's area upstairs, and or whatever you call it, like the control room where they run the boat. Okay, the upstairs part. So they're up there smoking weed, being chill people. I'm downstairs drunk because that's how I live my life. And I look up and I see there's this white like leather captain's chair, and it spins. And when it spins, it looks out into the ocean. So I'm like, oh, I know what I must do. So everyone's up there just having some chill talk about politics or race or something. And I go up there and I sit in the couch chair and spin around and just start going, make it so! Engage! For like 10 minutes, because there's only so many Star Trek quotes you can use in that scenario. And that's actually not the reason I had to leave. The reason I had to leave was actually because I was downstairs by myself for a while, and I was sitting next to a snack tray, which was actually a coffee table of unattended food, but I renamed it the snack tray. And this party was catered, this wasn't catered, but by like the deli salad bar from Whole Foods, which to you guys is probably pretty middle class, but to me is extravagant. So I was excited. So what happened is basically my roommate came down from the captain's area, and he just saw me kind of half laid out on the couch, covered in quinoa, just like hand spooning orzo salad into my face, like, look away! And then we had to leave. Thanks, guys.